What if I told you that for the majority of Christians, we are missing a vital part of our spiritual duty, something that has been overlooked for thousands of years? This truth, which many have deemed unimportant, would actually help us understand God's character and plan on a much deeper level. Imagine prophecies unfolding right in front of us, yet we've been told just to ignore them. A small nation in the Middle East, the nation of Israel, is at the centre of these prophecies. It is a land so precious to God that He calls it the apple of His eye. And yet many churches and Christians around the world have dismissed it as irrelevant to our faith. But this couldn't be further from the truth. The nation of Israel has been chosen by God throughout history and continues to play a central role in His redemptive plan. Its existence today is no coincidence. The horrific attacks on Israel on October 7th are yet another reminder that the world's focus is shifting toward this tiny nation. God is bringing His people back to Israel by the thousands every year, just as He said He would in the Bible. Now, we only have to look at biblical prophecy to see that Israel will face even greater challenges in the future. Zechariah 12 speaks of a time when all nations will come against Jerusalem, but Israel will ultimately come to recognize Jesus as their Messiah, leading to their salvation and fulfilling the promises of Romans 11. But before this happens, prophecy tells us that Israel will face increasing hostility and conflict. There will be wars, and Israel will be surrounded by enemies. However, God promises to protect and preserve His people through these trials. Israel will play a key role in the events leading to the return of Christ. So what can we as Christians do? First and foremost, we must understand that standing with Israel isn't merely a political stance, it's a biblical mandate, and we are called to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Our prayers are powerful and essential, not only for Israel's physical protection, but also for their spiritual awakening. We can stand as watchmen on the walls, as Isaiah 62 calls us to do, and ask and pray for Israel's people. We must also recognize the fullness of the Gentiles, the completion of God's work among the non-Jewish nations, cannot happen until the Jewish people come to salvation. This means that the church's future fullness is deeply intertwined with Israel's spiritual restoration. Supporting Israel, praying for their salvation, and spreading the truth about God's promises to them is not optional. It is a vital part of our faith. As we watch the events of the world unfold, the question I ask to you is this: will you stand as a watchman for Israel? Will you align your prayers, your heart, and your actions with God's heart for His chosen people? Now more than ever, Christians are called to stand with Israel, not only in their times of conflict, but as we anticipate the fulfilment of God's promises for their future. God calls Israel the apple of His eye. Shouldn't we support and love what God treasures? If Israel is precious to God, it must be precious to us as well. Now is the time for church to rise up, to pray and to stand with Israel in obedience to God's unfolding plan. We must pray for both Jew and Gentile living in the land to come to know Jesus Christ as Saviour. Will you join in this vital mission of prayer or remain a bystander? I'll leave that one with you. God bless you.